In 2025, Tyler Booker signed a $22.5 million contract with the Dallas Cowboys. And in his rookie year, he made the Pro Football Writers All-Rookie team, the best rookie on the entire roster. But what you probably didn't know is that 1 year earlier, he ran the slowest 40-yard dash of any offensive lineman in the entire draft class. A workout so bad that teams started to question whether he could even play. But before we break this down for you, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. And with that, let's go. So how does one of the best rookies in football, a kid from a state that does not make first-round picks, end up in Dallas in the first place? To understand that, you have to go all the way back to one night in November of 2016. Tyler Booker was 12 years old, sitting in front of a television in New Haven, Connecticut, watching the Cowboys play the Steelers. A rookie, Ezekiel Elliott, ripped off 2 touchdown runs in the fourth quarter, and Dallas won that game 35-30. And Tyler, he never forgot it. Years later, he would point to that exact night as the moment they clicked. I was just like, man, that offensive line is really winning the game for them, he said. He had found the thing he wanted to do with his life, not catch the ball, not score, but move people. Tyler grew up in New Haven. His dad, William, worked the third shift, and his mom, Tashana, kept the household running for Tyler, his older sister, Jalen, and his younger brother, Mason. They were not a wealthy family, but they were a football family. Tyler's uncle, Ulish Booker, played offensive line at Michigan State and won a Super Bowl ring with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And on every trip to Grandma's house, Tyler would stare at those helmets sitting on the shelf. By the time he was 4 years old, he was already telling his parents he was going to play in the NFL. And instead of brushing it off, his dad started training him. Stairs, laps, flipping truck tires together at a local high school. But here's the problem with New Haven, Connecticut. It is not Texas and it's not Florida. Nobody is driving through the Elm City scouting offensive linemen. If you want to get noticed, you have to leave. So at 14, Tyler left Connecticut entirely and enrolled at Bergen Catholic High School in New Jersey for his freshman year. His dad was so committed that he moved to New Jersey for a stretch just to be near him during the first year away from home. And Tyler has always been honest about what that cost his family. He would say his family means the world to him because of how much they invested in him, that they essentially had to watch their son grow up over FaceTime because he left home at 14 years old. His dad would ask him, "Are you sure you don't want to break?" And every single time, Tyler gave the same answer, "I want to do whatever it takes." That answer is exactly how he ended up at IMG Academy in Florida, one of the most ruthless high school football factories in the country. And the bet started to pay off. He started at right tackle on the 2020 team that went 8-0 and won the national championship, lined up right next to a future Alabama 5-star named J.C. Latham. By the time it was over, ESPN had rated Tyler Booker a 5-star recruit, one of the very best players in the entire country, and an Under Armour All-American. Florida, Georgia, Ohio State, and Oregon all came calling. And in July of 2021, he chose Alabama and Nick Saban. Then he got to Tuscaloosa and proved the rankings were no fluke. As a true freshman, he earned real snaps on the Alabama offensive line and was named Freshman All-SEC. But everyone kept getting him wrong. He wasn't underdeveloped, he was underrated. And those are two very different things. Then something happened that showed you exactly who he was. In January of 2024, just days after Alabama lost in the national semifinal, Nick Saban retired. The most powerful coach in the sport, the man who recruited Tyler to Tuscaloosa, was suddenly gone, and the program shook. Players entered a transfer portal, which is a system that lets college players leave and sign with a new school, and they began heading for the exits. Star receiver Isaiah Bond left. The whole thing could have come apart. But Tyler Booker, he stayed. He stayed and he held the locker room together for their new head coach, Kalen DeBoer. And DeBoer never forgot it. It quickly became obvious. He said later that Booker was going to be that guy you really had to go on and count on. He bet on himself, DeBoer said. He bet on Alabama. They made Tyler a permanent team captain, and even though there were 4 captains on that roster, his teammates called him the clear leader of all of them. That was a trait Dallas would eventually pay for, not the 40 time, the loyalty. And in 2024, on the field, he was a wrecking ball. First team All-American, First team All-SEC. He started in all 13 games, 12 at left guard and 1 filling in at left tackle, and graded out as one of the best blockers in the entire country, putting more defenders flat on their back than anyone else on the roster. He played with an edge that scared people. It's like legal assault out there, he once said. I want to make people not like to play football. He was not just trying to win his rep. He was trying to take the love of the game away from the man across from him. And the stat that mattered most was the quietest one. A guard's whole job is to keep defenders off his own quarterback. And every time one slips past and makes the tackle, that goes in the books as a sack allowed. Over 2 full seasons as a starter, Tyler Booker allowed 2 total. He was a 2-time first-team All-SEC lineman whose power in the run game overwhelmed almost everyone he lined up against. So that was the player teams were getting. So the question is, why did one workout scare them so badly? A few months before every draft, the NFL gathers its top prospects in one place called the Scouting Combine and runs them through a battery of physical tests in front of all 32 teams. The 40-yard dash, the jumps, and the bench press. Those numbers can lift a player up the draft boards or it can sink him. And in Indianapolis, Tyler Booker sank. He stood 6'4.5", weighed 321 pounds, and carried 34.5-inch arms and 11-inch hands. The size was elite. The power on the tape was elite. But then he ran the 40-yard dash in 5.38 seconds, dead last among every offensive lineman in the group. His jumps landed at the bottom as well. And the label stuck almost overnight. He's stiff, he's slow, a guard who would get exposed against NFL speed. Scouts praised the size and the strength, then questioned his feet, his quickness, and whether he could survive against faster, twitchier rushers. The draft boards began sliding him down, and ESPN dropped him all the way to 51st on their list of the players in the class. Now, for a player who had allowed just 2 sacks in 2 full seasons, one bad workout had teams ready to let him fall into the second day of the draft, which set up draft night. And then there was the position itself. Guard is one of the least glamorous jobs in football. Guards, they don't score, they don't make highlight reels, they just block. So when the team spends a top pick on the guard instead of a flashy receiver, fans, they tend to groan. And plenty of Cowboy fans were already begging for a receiver back then. And back at home, the whole community showed up. Nearly 200 people packed a restaurant called Volo in North Haven, decked out in shirts and jerseys. One man's already sporting a Cowboys jersey on before the pick even happened. And Tyler, he sat with his family. The father who worked nights, the mother who rebuilt her schedule around him, the people who had watched this kid since flag football in Hamden. The first round, it rolled on. And then it stopped on him. With the 12th overall pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys selected Tyler Booker. He became just the 2nd player from the entire state of Connecticut the Cowboys had ever rostered. ESPN had him 51st. Dallas took him 12th, almost 40 spots higher than the experts had him. And in football, when you draft a player way earlier than anyone expected, that is called a reach. To a lot of people, this was the biggest reach of the night. One Sports Illustrated writer spoke for the whole room. I like Booker, he said, but that feels really early. The pick got crushed online and on every draft broadcast, and plenty of the people were convinced that Dallas had blown it. But Jerry Jones knew exactly what he was doing. Dallas had just made Dak Prescott the highest paid player in the NFL, a deal worth $240 million over 4 years, the first contract of its kind in league history. And the future Hall of Famer Zach Martin, a 9-time Pro Bowl guard, had just retired. We needed a wall in front of our quarterback. When you make somebody the highest paid player in the NFL, Jones said you'd like to have something in front of him. That's kind of cute talk, but it's really fact talk. And Jones went further. He compared Booker's leadership and presence to Cowboys legend Michael Irvin.
Are you prepared to do about it?
Head coach Brian Schottenheimer, making the very first draft pick of his head coach career, did not blink. He's an alpha, Schottenheimer said. He knows what he wants. He knows how good he is. Booker had one answer for everyone calling it a reach. Turn on the tape, he said. 3 years at Alabama, I just straight up dominated. And there is one last layer to it. Tyler Booker grew up idolizing a Cowboys Hall of Fame guard named Larry Allen. The kid from New Haven had just been drafted to play the exact position for the exact team of the same offensive line he had watched win a game on television when he was 12 years old. He walked into the Star in Frisco wearing number 52, the same number he wore at Alabama. He slid in at right guard next to All-Pro Tyler Smith and center Cooper Beebe on a line Dallas had now spent 3 first-round picks on in 4 years. And from week 1 of his rookie season, he started. So he answered the only way that ever actually shuts people up. He played. A high ankle sprain cost him 3 games. He still started 14. And the Cowboys did not just hand a rookie a starting job, they handed him a voice. Schottenheimer asked him to lead a veteran light out loud as a first-year player, and Booker did it. He led every rookie interior lineman in football in pass blocking snaps. He played more than 1,000 snaps in all, and as a pass protector, he won his block on better than 9 out of 10 plays. By the end of the year, he was not just the best rookie the Cowboys had, he was the easy answer to the question. And then the league made it official. Tyler Booker named to Pro Football Writers All-Rookie Team. The first Dallas Cowboys rookie to earn it since a guard named Tyler Smith back in 2022. A lot of people who ripped that pick in April were now wearing his jersey by December. From a kid who left home at 14 to the second player his entire state ever sent to the Cowboys. From the slowest lineman at the combine to the most reliable rookie on America's team. From a pick almost everyone questioned to a pick that made the doubters eat every single word. Tyler Booker, number 52, a Dallas Cowboy. Doubted on the way in, 1 year later, he was the best pick we made. And at 21 years old, his story's just getting started. Be sure to like and subscribe. And with that, I'm out. Peace.